I guess you did an interview, I guess, with ESPN Radio and kind of talked about how you've embraced kind of that special teams role because you felt like that was your path. Was that a discussion you had with Lane and then when you got here that you may have to find a different role than tight end?
No, I mean, I just knew that. I mean, my mindset is anything I have to do, offense, special teams, anything, I'm going to do it. I played special teams everywhere I've been, so I take pride in, because that's your ticket to the NFL. There's only so many guys that get drafted in the first round, so they really look for guys on special teams who are selfless and just care about doing their 111. So that's kind of my mindset.
Kind of walk me through that touchdown play, the emotions, and just how you kind of found yourself that open over there.
Yeah, it was an interesting play. It was a little wet out there. I don't know if you guys saw. I ran into the guy. We both ended up falling on the ground. I got up, found myself wide open, caught the ball, turned around. Nobody was there, so it's interesting scoring away, like at another team's place, because you kind of don't know if there's like a flag on the play or because no one's cheering for you, So I knew it was a touchdown. I knew it was wide open, and it was an awesome feeling.
I really got to talk to you much this year, but how has, I guess, the first 8 games of the season been for you?
It's been great, going up against the best of the best in the SEC, just getting me better every day in practice and the game. I've loved every second of it, every game too.
Would you mind taking us through that fumble play too? And was that your first fumble forced, or do you have a history of doing that?
No, that was the first one. That was maybe my second tackle of my career. So I've made one off an interception, and that was my first one on special teams. But I just there was a light rush on the punt shield, so I just got out in coverage quick, and then I saw number 5 running right at me, and I was like, I'm just gonna go take a shot at him, and I didn't want to lead with my head because that would be targeting, so I just ended up throwing a shoulder in there and knocked the ball out. I didn't even realize it until I saw everybody scrambling around, and I was like, wow, I just forced a fumble. That's awesome.
And then what were the reaction of friends, family, anyone who was watching the game? It had to be pretty cool for everyone back home.
Yeah, I had a good amount of people at the game, actually. I had both sets of my parents, my fiance, my cousins, my aunt. So I had about 8 people there. So it was obviously, I bet, amazing for them to see in person. And obviously it was a live televised game. And being from Dallas, I have a lot of friends that went up to Norman to go to OU coming out of high school. So, of course, my phone was blowing up, blah, blah, blah. But it was just a great feeling.
What's kind of been your journey from New Mexico to here?
Yeah, it's been good. I've kind of, just like I said, embraced my role. Whatever that was, if that's playing on special teams only, playing on offense only, doing both, I knew that I just had to get on the field, get on the bus. That's the mindset you got to have. So really just whatever they asked me to do, I'm going to do it.
And when you jumped in the portal, what were you kind of looking for?
Yeah, I was looking for kind of a tight end friendly offense, which is what we run. We had past 2 games, we've had 5 tight ends on the field throughout the game, so I don't really know a lot of other places that do that. So that was really kind of what stood out to me. Obviously, Coach Kiffin's offense is the best in the country. The stats prove it. It's not just an opinion. But so that's obviously weighs in. And just the level of play here in the SEC, I wanted to elevate my game and elevate my chances of going to the next level. So that was also a big factor.
And throughout your football career, was there any moment that you could compare to how Saturday was for you?
I mean, definitely I had this crazy game in high school in the 4th round of the Texas State playoffs. That was pretty big. But other than, nothing compares to, in front of 85,000 people just making plays, and especially in front of my family is the best part.
You talked about coming to the SEC to elevate your game. How does being in such a versatile tight end room help you elevate your game as well?
Yeah, competition is the greatest driving factor of just progress. You see a guy, he's doing well, you're like, I got to do better, and another guy may look at you and think the same thing. So being in a tight end room with a lot of successful guys kind of just made me want to go out and work harder, and knowing that, I got to go against our D-line every single day, maybe realize I got to go that much harder in the weight room and get stronger, because coming from a smaller program, we don't really have as much resources, so I had to really take advantage and over the resources here and just try to build my body up.
I did want to ask, because a lot got made externally of Lane Kiffin addresses Florida rumors or whatever with players, but he sort of told us, hey, it was just a matter of telling the guys that haven't been here before, this is what happens when you win. Just wanted to get your perspective on that talk that Lane gave.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what you said. That's exactly what he told us. You know, it was short and sweet. You know, great things come to winning programs. You know, I've seen it. You know, we were great last year, and our head coach, our offensive coordinator, a bunch of guys left to bigger programs, and that's just what comes with success. So that was pretty much his message.
Questions? Thanks, Trace.
Of course. Thank you, guys.